If you know, you know. Nwoke adịgo ka ọ ga-adị. Odogwu adịgo ka ọ ga-adị.
Release Nnamdi Kanu or face the full wrath of international law. U.S. Congresswoman has declared that enough is enough. That all the argument they are making on Kanu's head must end immediately. Lovers of freedom and lovers of Biafrans, I must tell it that it is no longer a news that Biafrans is now getting more hold of the international communities. They came to court today to cheat, even after the declaration. But of course, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is zooming them from his own direction. And they know for good that we are not in for negativity. We are not in for any kind of lies. We are not in for any kind of play, mago. But we are in for what matters more. You see, for too long, we have been trying to be that humble sheep, or what they call it. But these people, in their own hereditary, has vowed that Biafrans can never see anything good. But you don't decide what Biafrans will see. You don't get to decide. Yes. You don't get to decide what Biafra should see or what Biafra should not see. What matters more is that Biafrans must be able to go through the divine process. And that divine process must be lectured in different motives. Yes. It must be lectured in different motives. And that's what makes us Biafrans. That's what makes us who we are. That's what shows the level of understanding how we should put things together. Because if it is not done the way it should be done, therefore I must say it again and I will say it again, that the time for Biafran actualization and restoration must be seen as a time of reflection, must be seen as a point of view from different points, because we cannot continue to hold ourselves captive. This is the reason, I will say it again, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be freed. We are not begging. Igbos don't beg. We don't bow before kings. We don't bow before our fellow men. We bow before you because you're worth it. You deserve it. And that's just it. So, as we continue to get along this very case, let's equally understand that our big win has been registered. And nothing will spoil it. It is a question of time. As we continue in every part, we must understand that we are already getting more friendship internationally. How are you feeling about it? I didn't make our own bottom. Going out. So as we continue from every direction, from every angle, let's equally understand that positivity has been recorded. Nothing can stop the actualization of Biafrans and the Biafran people. Nothing at all. Of so doing, whatever doing, nothing at all can stop it. We're people that understand where we are headed. And victory must be put in that very direction. So much again. It is happening live and direct, and I'm here to give you the update of what transpired in the court today. The Supreme Court has set aside a judgment by the lower court that dismissed the terrorism charges against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, the apex court held that the Court of Appeal was wrong and that the trial court couldn't try him because the prosecution violated his rights. In the judgment prepared by Justice Garba Muhammad, the court condemned the invasion of Kanu's residence, declaring it irresponsible. The court held that there is no law in the country stopping a trial based on the violation of the rights of the suspect. Muhammad said if the police should destroy the house of the suspect to obtain exhibits, should that diverse the court against entertaining the offense? His remedy should be the way of civil proceeding. Proceedings can be stopped on account of the violation of the rights of the suspect. That is not our law for now. We decided not to go with the Court of Appeal, though we condemn the violation of his rights. Nigeria must redeem its image and adhere to the rule of law. If a person has been granted bail, why did you invade his house? That is irresponsible. You shouldn't blame him for running. No legislation in the country stripped the trial court of jurisdiction to go ahead with Kanu's case. Despite the illegal action of the federal government, the law must take its course. The Court of Appeal was wrong that the trial court couldn't try him. The appeal is allowed and the cross appeal is dismissed. Kanu was first arrested in 2015 under the administration of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. He was subsequently granted bail in April 2017 and fled the country after an invasion of his home in Afaruku near Umuahia, Abia State by the Nigerian military in September 2017. Kanu was rearrested in Kenya and kidnapped in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria in June 2021. He was arraigned before the Federal High Court in Abuja on 4 charges of treasonable felony, conspiracy to commit treasonable felony, illegal importation of radio equipment, and defamation of former President Muhammadu Buhari, which they did not mention in court. Let me correct that. The charges were later withdrawn by the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abba Kamal Abi, SAN, who replaced them with a fresh 14-count charges bordering on terrorism and membership in a proscribed group, among others. The court, however, reduced the charges to 7. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja on October 13, 2022 held that how Kanu was extradited to the country violated the country's extradition treaty and was also a breach of his fundamental human rights. The appellate court also struck out the terrorism charges filed against Kanu by the Nigerian government and ordered his release from the DSS facility. Since then, they have refused to release him. The FG, the federal government, through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, appealed the court ruling and subsequently obtained an order staying the execution of the court judgment at the Supreme Court. Kanu, through his lawyers, filed an appeal against the stay of execution order at the Apex Court on November 3, 2022. Displeased by the verdict of the appellate court, the FG, the federal government, filed an appeal at the Supreme Court. This is where we are now. You see, they are trying as hard as possible to, mess up the whole system, but I could gym only for some of you are saying that Nnamdi Kanu will not be released. And where bana guy gym unga fugo gesweme. Oya, cherekwa for next update.